Hey guys, it's Nick from Long Island Wargaming, and here we got with us today.
We got some high elves versus Skaven.
Awesome. If you guys want, I know I already put my list up because I made a list for a subscriber, but I also wanted to use it against Rich here. So if you want to check out my list, check out that video. I'll put it in the description. But first, we're just going to look at Richie's high elves and what he brought today. Just to quickly go over before we get into that, the terrain. For this battle, we've got a sinister statue in the middle, which is kind of annoying the whole time. 2 forests, 2 hills, but that's really it. This was a pitched battle, and cool. So let's get into the high elves. Rich, what do you got, and what were you thinking?
All right, so
And this is a 2,500 point game.
it's a 2,500 point game. This is a new army. I've been doing a lot of research. There's a lot of material out there trying to figure out a good roster against Skaven, which is tough to do because they're such a versatile army. So I mean, the stuff that I brought here today was an Archmage with Book of Hoath. I feel like that's a really good choice. Book of Hoath's definitely a very good choice for 55 points in an arcane item. For heroes, I brought a level 2 caster with the scroll, which I don't think I even had a chance to cast in this battle. A noble with BSB. He has heavy armor and the shield of Mearworm, which is actually pretty good because it gives you a 4+ parry save.
And what lures were the casters using?
The lures was the high magic for my Archmage and shadow magic for my level 2 mage. And spells that I got was Soul Quench, Drain Magic, I believe it's called Tempest, and Fire Convocation. And my shadow magic, I got Occam's Mind Razor and
Enfeebling foe, right?
yeah. So as well for the rest of my army here, I got for my core I had 20 spearmen. For my other piece of core, I had 35 spearmen with a standard musician and banner of discipline. I had 95 points worth of 5 reavers. Special, I had 220 points, 15 white lions with eternal with standard bearer and banner of eternal flame, and I had 25 Phoenix Guard with full command, razor banner. For my rare choice, this is how this army is really different. Like, you went from spending like 100 points to rare to you kind of want to use a lot of it. I ended up taking 2 Frostfire, 2 Frostheart Griffins, and 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, which...
Phoenixes.
Phoenixes, yeah. And, oh my goodness, the Bolt Throwers are so disappointing, so disappointing. I mean, they're good, but they totally screwed me.
Yeah, this game they didn't do too great. However, the fact that they're, 30 points cheaper now?
Yeah.
They had to do that so you can get them in with the other rare choices, right?
Exactly. So my 2 Frostheart, like, granted, if they stayed alive, they actually would have did quite well with the Enfeebling Foe, just knocking down the Skaven strength. Because, I mean, they have so many guys, and I know I'm going to get outnumbered regardless of what roster I make, so I'm just trying to make them just be useless. With only one of my guys actually getting into combat, it was kind of rough. But, basically, I was just kind of going with whatever guys I can actually get out there that would do decent. My White Lions were kind of Hell Pit Abomination hunting because those things are ridiculous. I really need to take it down if they were out there.
So I brought no Hell Pit.
No Hell Pit,
but you
no
had
shooting.
only 15 White Lions, which kind of threw me off at first. But, I mean, nonetheless. So anything else you want to add in before we go through the turns?
Not really too much. I mean, the only thing I really did was I had not wide units, just very narrow, long units, just to kind of fight with you having steadfast. So I would try to get as many attacks in there, knock a bunch of guys out, and kind of compete with the steadfast a little bit, and reduce the amount of attacks if you try to do horde formation.
Gotcha. And I'm still kind of surprised how few elves I see for a 2,500 point game.
Me too.
I thought you had a 2,000 point list here, but you dropped it down.
Nope.
So a lot of points in the rare, and then a lot of points in the heroes, right?
The heroes actually not too much. Heroes and lore is not a lot. A lot went into the special and a lot went into the rare.
All right, cool. So Rich got turn 1, but let's just go through my deployment quick. I out-deploy him with rat darts, so I get the matchups I want. I end up dropping all my hordes and going into a bus formation. Slaves, plague monks, rat darts, screaming bell with the clan rats, storm vermin with the doom wheel in between. You could see in my other video what the plan was with the doom wheel was essentially to go after any phoenixes. We'll see how that goes. And then slaves on the far end, and then another rat dart hiding somewhere. And then the engineer with the lodestone ended up going in the storm vermin. I didn't know who was going to be more of a target. This was actually the best place for him, as you'll see through the game. It was either there or the Plague Monks. So since I kind of out-deployed Rich, I got the matchups, and then you want to just go over what you did with your deployment here?
Yeah, so basically we had a sheer slope for that hill-wise. So I was going to try to take advantage of it in case he charged up it since he had the Plague Monks right over there, but I didn't really end up going that route. So try to do heavy on the left flank, mainly because, I mean, you're going to be outnumbered regardless what you do. My Reavers, I kind of just threw them up, try to bait a charge out of the Plague Monks, and you'll see what I tried to do with it later on, but unfortunately they didn't meet the call. And just have the Phoenixes in the middle, so, I mean, I can kind of get them where I wanted them. Other than that, I mean, nothing too crazy with that actual deployment.
All right, cool. So High Elves get turn 1. Movement?
Basically, just threw my guys up in range, moved the Reavers up ever so slightly to be within baiting range for the Plague Monks, and just kind of moved the Phoenixes up furthest as I could, or really I wanted to, just so I can kind of maybe fly over something, get them behind.
So at the time, were you anticipating the Doom Wheel shooting up there?
I didn't, honestly. I should have been more worried about the Doom Wheel. I was taking shots at it. My first shot that I took was a hit, and I roll a 1's a wound, of course. And then every other shot for the remainder of the game missed. So it was very underwhelming.
All right. So Winds of Magic, we roll very low for the entire game. So Rich gets a 7 with a 4 in there, so the Phoenix gets an extra attack.
Mm-hmm.
You get off Fiery, what is it, Convocation or something?
Convocation or something like that.
Yeah, he got that off on the Bell unit, right?
No, I got that off on your Storm Vermin.
All right, so then I scroll it right away.
Oh, no, I did get off on your Bell unit, and you scrolled it right away.
Yeah, I just did not want to deal with that spell. It's annoying. And then Drain Magic. When Rich went to cast Drain Magic, I was like, okay, whatever. So I let him get it off. I had 4 Dispel dice. I'm like, there's nothing to negate.
Yep.
And then he's like, okay, thanks. I was like, thanks for what? And he's like, I get an extra ward save now. So I was like, oh, no, I'm throwing my Dispel dice. So I dispelled that.
Yeah, I only had like 1 or 2 dice to cast it too, so it was just like nothing that was difficult to dispel.
Right. So that was kind of silly. The bolt throwers do nothing. Reavers shoot at the dart and actually kill the Packmaster, and they panic and run. No, they don't run. They actually kill the Packmaster, but now the Packmaster's dead. They have to just always issue a charge,
which was pretty entertaining. I did not know that. I like that a lot.
So my turn 1, I get let's just look at my movement quick. No charges. However, the Doom Wheel gets like really close to those Phoenixes, which is great.
You made 1 charge.
I made it issue
just
charge?
with the Rat Dart.
The Rat Darts had to issue a charge since they're within range, I guess. It's not like Frenzy where they could take a leadership test. It just says they move towards the closest enemy or make a charge. And this isn't 7th edition, so it's not like 12 you get in. So, essentially, Rich gets free counter shots at them, and they're gone for the game. So here's my movement, and then for magic, I roll 6 for Winds of Magic, which sucks. I plague the Spearman. The Lord takes a wound, and I only kill 13. Only 13. I know it's a lot, but at the same time, you could kill a lot with toughness tests. I miscasted that, though, so I detonated, which is fine, because the Screaming Bell is that huge base. There's not a lot of guys that get onto that small template, so I only kill a couple of my own guys. And Doom Wheel rolled a Strength 4. So he does no wounds on the Phoenix, which sucks. So that's that, really. So on to High Elf turn 2. Rich kept anticipating me pulling out the Storm Banner, which surprisingly I didn't bring this game at all.
No, I expected it.
So essentially this would have been a great opportunity for me to be like, your turn, you start. No, I'm pulling out the Storm Banner. Your Phoenixes cannot move. I'm just going to charge you with the Doom Wheel next turn. But I didn't have it. Kind of an oversight, but also I didn't anticipate 2 Phoenixes. I thought there were going to be none actually this game. So High Elf turn 2.
Yeah, this is where I pretty much lost the game, to be honest. I made a misplay. I really underestimated the Doom Wheel, and I overestimated my bolt throwers. Honestly, turn 2, I should have just charged the Doom Wheel and destroyed it. That wouldn't have been a problem. My guys have more than enough power to overwhelm the actual Doom Wheel, but I end up flying over it, and later on you'll see how it just destroys me. I move up ever so slightly, or actually no, I take a step back, and I'm still in range for most of my spells. I throw what I can, but Again, magic phase is weak. I think I got like 7 dice, 6 dice.
For Winds of Magic, you didn't roll well. I actually don't have it written down.
I'm pretty sure I only got a few dice.
Well, let's see. You got Soul Quench off.
I got Soul Quench off, which is at the higher level one for the 46 hits. Of course, I roll horrible, and I get 9 hits.
And you kill only 4 clan rats.
4 guys, but I still had 5 dice or 4 dice left or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was able to cast Fire Convocation. And I put down the Storm Vermin, which actually lasts the entire game.
Yeah.
It pretty much dwindles them down, but the way this edition is, it made little difference. I mean, he still had enough to count. But it was a good move, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you ended up killing 12 Storm Vermin. There's 50 in there. But, I mean, with my armor save after shields, I have a 5 up, and then I've got a 4+ ward save because I've got the Engineer in there with the Lodestone. Yep. So, I mean, it was, not the end of the world. So, no. But honestly, at this point, I don't know what people think. I'd love to hear some comments. But once that spell gets off, it's almost like ignore it. Unless your magic sucks. I mean, I wanted to get my Gracier spells off. I couldn't deal with the fact that spell was off. I didn't feel like wasting, I don't know, 6 dice to try to dispel it, and then
it's a 19 to cast. That's nothing to joke about for Remain in Play, because I mean, anytime you do Remain in Play for other things, you usually have to bump it up to be the next tier. At that point, when you dispel it, you still have to dispel it to lower tier cost. So it's a really effective when you get out on the battlefield.
Agreed. And then your bolt throwers miss.
Of course,
both
horrible
shots
with them all the time.
All right, Skaven turn 2. Let's see what I did for my movement. I turned the Doom Wheel around and rushed that Phoenix, which is pretty awesome. Everything else just kind of moved up. The Rat Darts are going after the Bolt Throwers. Everything just moves up, as you can see here. For Magic, I've got Winds of Magic 5, which I don't even think I got anything off. The Bell grants +1 attack to everyone, which is great, but nobody's in combat. And then at the end of Magic, the Strong Vermin only take 5. So he's getting 45 strength 4 attacks, 40 strength 4 attacks. And after armor and after my Lodestone, it's pretty good. So I get the Lodestone in subsequent rounds. It's a spell, right?
Yeah, you definitely get it. You use Magic Res with that.
Cool. So then that's really that. The Doom Rocket short shoots and only does nothing actually, which sucks.
Hits one guy and does roll a 1. So
I actually, as you can see over here, I pulled the Engineer out of the combat so that he could just get a nice equal shot for 14 inches away, but nothing happens. So that's really it for Skaven turn 2, I think. High Elf turn 3 we'll move on to.
At this point, I was just kind of already saw that the battle was going miserably on my part, so what ended up...
Oh, I forgot to say the Doom Wheel ends up killing...
Yeah, it kills the Phoenix.
Yeah,
you get
I roll
Strength 8
Strength 8,
like that, and do
I
7 wounds.
Wreck
something
it,
ridiculous.
So.
And so at this point, I basically made 3 charges. I charged my White Lions in. I charged my Phoenix into the rear, which actually rolled 3 6s, so he definitely wanted to get in. And I also charged my Reavers into the rear. I probably should have formed them up in 2 by 3. So I would have got less guys in. What I tried doing there was just run them into the rear. Hopefully one guy survives, and I broke, and he chased me, and that would pretty much take them out of the game for at least 2-3 turns. And that would be a big point loss on his part. But I was able to beat out his Banner of Plague.
Yeah, the Plague Banner. I decided I didn't want these guys to turn and run, so I'm not going to say wasted, but I activated the Plague Banner for these 5 fast cavalry. So
I think it was actually a good choice, because if you didn't, I don't think you only...
I probably would have...
You only did 6 wounds after armor save, so it's very possible one would have survived that.
Yeah, and then I would have had 50 guys run backwards for no reason.
It would have been hilarious.
All right, so Winds of Magic. Oh, you enter the forest. You could see a Spearman in the forest. It's Venom Thicket, so... I
had to take 20 dangerous train tests, and I lost 1 guy, so I was pretty happy with that.
That's awesome. Good odds.
Yeah.
7 for Winds of Magic. I dispelled Enfeebling Foe.
Yep, I did Enfeebling Foe, and then... What else did I do? I don't think it was really anything productive. Honestly, my magic was very ineffective for how many points I put into it. I tried to do Enfeebling Foe on that Storm Vermin unit, so I can pretty much just knock him down to like Strength 1 and care less what he tried to do. But he did dispel that, and I might have gotten Soul Quench off, maybe did like 1 or 2 wounds. It was pretty underwhelming. For shooting, Bell Throwers obviously miss, and close combat.
Actually, did you kill these giant rats here?
Oh yeah, there was a dart. I actually couldn't see the Doom wheel for some reason with my second bolt thrower, so I just shot the rat dart that was about to charge them, and I took him out. But later on, you'll see what happened to it. Then close combat, my Phoenix basically hit the rear. His whole unit went last with -1 strength. I ended up actually chopping a decent amount of the unit off. I think did like 11 wounds or so.
Yeah.
And you killed, I think it was about like 8 or so white lions, and the Phoenix was unscathed. You still did have Stubborn though, and you did pass your leadership test.
Oh yeah, Gracier, BSB.
Yep.
So that's the way to go. Leadership 10 rerolls. Actually, did I have leadership 10 there?
You did.
Leadership 9.
Leadership 9? I think you rolled like a 5 or
Yeah.
anyway.
So, but yeah, that's good. So I guess that's it for High Elf turn 3, right? That was High Elf turn 3.
Yeah.
So Skaven turn 3. I make some charges. The Plague Monks go in without the bell. The bell, I want to kind of shimmy around to try to get to those spearmen and those casters, take them out. I can't really get a lot of Plague Monks in here. It's kind of screwy, but at this point, they're just there to get grinded down. You could see they're facing the wrong way because I never had time to reform them. The Doom Wheel comes in from behind to hopefully take out the last Phoenix. And here's some moving, so that's that. So the bell does swift reform.
It does a swift reform
swift
and
reform.
reduces its rank by 1, so you can actually fit through.
Yeah, so I squeezed through there. Slaves that do not charge, the rat darts just kind of heading around the back there. Again, very underwhelming Winds of Magic. I roll a 6. I end up irresistible forcing Plague, but only kill 5 spearmen. And then again, I detonate, but only kill a couple guys. And then the Plague transfers over to the White Lions and kills 3 of them, so only leaving 2. Right?
There was only 2 left, I know that. Yeah, it looks like there were... Or you killed 4, maybe?
Yeah, I killed 4 and left 2 or something, so that kind of sucked. And then the Doom Wheel in the shooting phase gets Strength 10 hit off, does 3 wounds, and then Rich Ward saves 1, and then I multiply into like 10 wounds or something.
Yeah, it ends up being 6,
so
I just took it out.
Yeah, so that died. And let's see. So into the combat. Previous turn, Rich did the ring. What's the ring called? It's not the ruby ring. It's the High Elf ring, right?
Yeah, it's Ring of Cain's Fury or something like that. And essentially, it will do Soul Quench, and essentially just a enchanted item, so you don't actually have to put it on a caster, which is great. And just cast it away. Get the lore atch. I think I only killed like 1 or 2 guys. I didn't really care at that point. I just got the lore attribute, and I added a +1 ward save to the unit, which gave them a maximum of the 3+ ward save. So that
is awesome.
Yeah,
but I really think it came down to the hero, because your hero had a what ward save? Where he had a 4+ parry or something?
He had a 4+ parry with the Shield of Mareworm, and then, I mean, it's just, a parry is just a ward save. So it got a +1 to it, so it ended up being a 3-up.
Yeah, so I directed all my attacks on the hero, and then didn't realize his ward save was just as good as the freaking Phoenix Guard, so...
Yep, it was pretty awesome.
I'm pretty sure I ended up losing that combat.
You did.
And then I lost Frenzy. And
I knocked 8 guys off, you did 0 wounds, and it worked out pretty well. Pretty well.
So, yeah, so...
And at the end of that combat, I combat reformed to get as many guys as possible, because I knew I had the advantage at that point.
Right, and then I finish off the White Lions.
Oh, yeah, they got slaughtered.
Alright, High Elf turn 4.
At this point, I mean, it's pretty much just desperate. I just throw one of my casters outside the unit, just trying to mess up any kind of movement much as possible, and maybe prevent him from dying, but I knew this was like a lost cause at that point. At this point, I just wanted to see how well the Phoenix Guard did against the Plague Monks.
Yeah.
The magic phase, when I got to there...
5.
So underwhelming. I used 3 dice to cast Enfeebling Foe, and he dispels it, and then I used 2 dice to try to cast Tempest, which is a large template, and I kind of was just hoping it would, because it does sway, just sway over onto the Plague Monks and kill them. I unfortunately rolled 2 1s. Book of Hoath, I ended up just getting instead of a 1, it was like 2, so not enough power was still active. So, pretty sad. And then close combat. I actually...
Oh, hold on, shooting.
Oh, shooting. Really, really sad. If you're looking at this particular image, you notice you only see a screaming bell. Behind there, it is the Doom Wheel. You cannot see it at all. It is completely obstructed, which is very rare in this game.
So funny.
So I shot rat darts. Great. I killed them and they ran off the board.
All right. So yeah, in combat, go ahead.
Oh, combat, I dropped 10 guys, and you inflicted a ton of wounds, but I took 1 after all the armor and ward saves. And ended up actually breaking the unit. You did roll a 12 on your flea, which was annoying. I went 9 inches, and not really too much happened there after that.
And also, don't forget, the storm vermin are slowly dying with the fiery thing. To the point where the actual engineer has died from the wounds, so now I no longer have the ward save, so they're just slowly crumbling. Anything else for turn 4?
No, that's pretty much
All right, so Skaven turn 4. I charge in with my slaves and my other slaves and the Bell unit, and the Doom Wheel goes for the Phoenix Guard, but whatever. The Plague Monks that fled last turn rally, so that's fine. I try to get as many ranks as I can. And then the Bell decides to Scorch, but Rich dispels it. And then I roll 7 from my Winds of Magic, which is the highest roll we've gotten all game, and I have a Warpstone token. So I decided to use 2 dice to get Wither off, which is an 8. So I need to roll a 4 to get it. So I wanted to do that first to maybe get rid of some of his Dispel dice and then go for the dreaded 13th. And I roll, a 1 and a 2?
Yep.
I roll a 3. 3 plus 4 is a 7. I needed an 8, so...
And
I missed it.
End of the magic phase.
So I missed it, and then I didn't even get to do any other spells, which really sucked. But at this point, I mean, that's that. I, ate up some of the spearmen and...
Oh, the whole spearmen got, wiped out.
Yeah, and then we didn't even get to the slave combat because Rich just kind of called it at that point. So, I mean, I know Skaven are tough to deal with, but what do you think went wrong for you or right for me?
I made a huge misplay and... should have just slaughtered that Doom Wheel. I didn't expect it to
I feel like if you charged it, I wouldn't have gotten my impact hits. I would have went last. It doesn't really do any damage. It's like 2d6 strength 2 hits. At that point, it would be strength 1 hit, so you'd eat it.
No, I would have ate it. I should have just destroyed it. At that point, I would have had 2 Phoenixes on the board. Even if, say, I only used 1 to, say, destroy the Doom Wheel, and I flew the other one down the field.
Mm-hmm.
If your Storm Vermin charged into it, honestly, I think you probably would have sat there for a while.
Yeah.
Your Storm Vermin would have needed 6s of wounds, as well as your Bonebreaker would have needed 6s of wounds. Nothing would have happened for a while.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So if I made that particular move, it would have been an entirely different game.
Right.
But it is what it is. Live learn.
So,
and also for the White Lions, good choice to bring them, I think, but bad that you didn't bring them, and also bad that you had no shooting. So it came to be a game that I didn't really expect.
Yeah, I just went all in combat, no shooting, no unreliable stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, the White Lions, they would have killed the Hellpit. They had flaming attacks.
Yeah, they had the Banner Eternal Flame.
Yeah, that's just a straight up always strike first, kill your freaking Hellpit, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I got switched up once in a while, otherwise, And you didn't expect the Doom Wheel?
I didn't really say I didn't expect it. I just didn't expect its capabilities. Yeah. I guess I'm a little rusty from
not
playing as much. School kills me, but definitely gonna play a lot more now.
Yeah, summertime. So, and the choice between the Phoenixes? Because I've gotten a couple PMs from people just wondering what to build, put the hero on it, not put the hero on it. What's your recommendation?
Taking a look around it. I mean, I want to put the hero on it. I think that'd be so much fun. But for the other capabilities that you could be doing with your Lord choice, I feel like it's not really optimum. It's more of like a wish list than really something that's probable.
Right.
It's definitely good, but I feel like if since the magic is so good in this army, maybe you want to consider a lore master because you really get all the signatures. Very versatile. I see a lot of particular lists using him, and they seem to be pretty effective. Or just using an archmage, another great way to go about it. I'm also seeing a lot of people spend, if they want to get like monsters, they actually put heroes on top of griffins and then put some upgrades. That's a cheap way to get a monster out in the field. And if I had to go between the two, I still don't know. I think they're both good. They're just, it differs where they're used.
Right. But they are a must-take at this point?
I would probably take at least one.
Yeah.
I don't... Two, not every game, but one. Yeah, I would say you probably want to.
Do you think, based on the lists that I had, you would have done better with the flaming ones, the regular fire phoenixes, with the amount of ranks I had and the lack of shooting?
No. If I actually got to use my Frostheart Phoenixes in battle, I think you would have been in trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
If I just slam them into things, you would get -2 toughness, potentially strength 1 on your standard troopers,
and then you had enfeebling foe and. There would be no strength. That'd be strength 1 across the board.
And it doesn't matter if I'm squishy. I'm still at full armor save and 6 is the wound. So, I mean, it would have been good. Because I definitely had the superior troop on the field.
Yeah.
But not as much. So, just more refining on my part. I definitely need to work on better deployment and work on the roster.
How do you match... I mean, what kind of chaff can you get down besides... I mean, how do you deal with the rat darts and the fact that I just always get my your entire army down before I put anything important down?
I don't think there really is much you can do. Most I really can do is throw the best I got. If I'm going to do Shaft is 95 points worth of Reavers because I'm just going to swap their spears for bows and then put a musician because, I mean, you need that for fast cal.
Right.
But other than that, I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
Oh, cool. Well, high elves for you. Some Skaven. I don't know if people hate me for still playing them. Me and Rich are maybe thinking of going back to high elves and dwarves. I've brought that up a couple times. It's where we started 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
I started dwarves, Rich started high elves. So we might do some of the War of the Beard.
At some point, I definitely want to do another battle with Skaven.
You want to kill my Skaven, don't you?
I'm not going to give up until the Skaven are dead.
Cool. Well, this is what usually happens. So I know you guys have only seen some of our games, but when it gets to the point where someone keeps winning, we just keep playing those races until that person is dominated. So when new ogres came out and I was playing, what was your Empire?
Oh my goodness, I lost like 18 games in a row. It's just I was getting super frustrated, but now ogres, they're defeatable.
Yeah. So, and just to give you a little idea of our history. This doesn't happen where I beat Rich. For 7 of the 10 years of us playing, I would lose every single game. Every single game. But, I mean, Skaven are good, but I've just been getting better, and Rich has been playing less. So, like, it feels good to beat him because usually I lose against you.
If anyone is in an engineering degree or engineering, they know my plight. I'm going to school for it. But I will get better.
Yes, now that you've got some free time, we're going to play some more games. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else?
That's all I really got.
All right, cool.
Any of your feedback about like what you've been seeing with high elves, just some trends? Like, I remember just spending a good like half an hour just looking at particular builds for BSBs. I saw a lot of them being in silver helm units, but I still don't know how I feel about that yet.